So Nintendo just wrapped up their Super Nintendo World Direct, and dear God, Joey and Triss, I've gotta go here. This looks so good. It looks so awesome seeing it, not in person, but our closest experience to being there in person that we've had yet. I'm a huge theme park guy. This is something I've wanted for decades, ever since I was a kid, and it's amazing to see this come to life. Joey, I know you're a big theme park fan too, so how did this make you feel watching Miyamoto take us through this whole Mario world?
Oh, it's wild, man. Like, I was watching this, and they didn't show a whole lot. Miyamoto didn't show a whole lot of the park, but he showed enough to where I'm just like, I want to go to there. Please take me there right now. It's, man, and in this year where I haven't been able to take my annual Universal Studios trip, it's making me just want to go back there even more. I know the Hollywood Universal Studios is not going to have this. It's not going to have this done until maybe for 2 years now, but I will definitely find this is the perfect excuse for me to go to Japan. Like, of course, I've always wanted to go to Japan, but this is like the ultimate. It's the ultimate catalyst for me to just say, you know what? As soon as this whole pandemic deal's done, as soon as this is done, I'm buying tickets to Japan. Like,
that's right.
Like, sorry, wife, too expensive to buy 2 tickets. Have fun.
Not even her name. It's just bye, wife. I'm out.
Sorry, wife. I mean, I always call her wife, just wife. She lost her name when she married me. I'm just kidding.
Wow, Triss, what did you think of Super Nintendo World?
So, I'm someone who, growing up, I never got to go to theme parks too much. After I hit, like, 10, I don't live near any too much outside of, like, Six Flags. And I've been to Six Flags a few times, but I haven't been to, like, Disney's in, like, over 10 years now, kind of thing, or Universal. And seeing this, since it was announced 4 years ago, I've been really excited for this, because I've always wanted to go to a big theme park themed around this kind of thing. When I was growing up, my dad and I used to come up with fun little ideas during car trips of, like, what a Mario theme park could be like. So seeing this over the last 4 years has been really exciting. And now, with Miyamoto touring us through this was really nice. Like, I couldn't stop smiling through this. And it was really funny because when Tom and I were watching this, right before actually watching it, we were wondering like, how they're going to handle presenting this. And we made jokes that, oh, it's just going to be Doug Bowser walking around in like selfie mode, Dickie Panoramics. And like, it's not too far off.
No, you weren't. But, I mean, yeah, it really wasn't that far off. And kind of to that point, it was really fun just to see Miyamoto exploring this world. Like, you mentioned having, like, a smile earlier. Like, Miyamoto was smiling almost throughout this entire thing. And it seemed like he was having a blast giving a tour of this land. And what was really cute was there was a moment when Mario and Luigi show up, and he refers to them, he refers to himself as their papa or their dad or something. And I'm like, yeah, this is, like, your creation come to life. I mean, it's gotta be amazing to see, like, what's largely your creation realized at a scale this big. Like, there are so few people that could say that have accomplished something like this, you know. It has to be amazing.
It sucks though, because when he goes back, or when like the park finally opens and he can go with his family, he'll have to have bodyguards. Because I have a feeling people would just be like, "Ah, it's Mario's dad. Go get him."
Right? Yeah, he can't so much live there, can he? Just in Peach's castle. He's got like his own bedroom there. But
oh man.
So let's get a little more granular in on this, and talk about some of the specifics that we perhaps like. And I guess I'll begin with the entrance into the land, which Miyamoto shows us is a warp pipe. You actually walk through a warp pipe. You warp into Super Nintendo World, and more specifically into the castle, Peach's castle, which then leads into Super Nintendo World. And that's like a small, like, kind of seemingly obvious thing that's just also just so perfect. Yeah, of course you would take a warp pipe into Super Nintendo World or Mario's World. And that's something like I always wanted to do as a kid. It's like, yeah, that looks like a fun way to travel. And I love that it even makes a sound effect when you go into it.
Yeah.
And it actually specifically reminds me of Mario Party 2. When you're setting up a game.
I was gonna say that.
When you're setting up a game, you see Toad running through a warp pipe, and that's I'm sure also people in real life running through this warp pipe too to get into the land.
Oh man, I can't believe I already had a grin on my face just looking at the entrance chaos of this place, because I can already picture me just going through it now, like with crowds of people. Of course, it is going to be a little tight down that pipe, but then when you get into the castle, that's like the closest feeling to like Disneyland this park is going to have, because for one, it's a castle, and two, the Mario 64 music playing like as soon as you enter is just, it gives me Disney vibes, because it's like when you enter Disneyland and then Be Our Guest orchestral is playing over it, and it's, oh man, it's magical. It really is magical.
It is. I mean, there is going to be something incredibly magical about hearing and seeing these tracks and visuals we're all familiar with, but in a real world setting. Like the context alone is really going to change it, and it is going to be amazing. Like as you said, like when you're at Disney, you're hearing tunes you're all familiar with, but it takes on a different meaning and feeling when you're actually there in person experiencing it.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad they didn't show us too much of the park, because it is going to be an experience that's going to be different when you enter the park and when you actually are seeing things in person for the very first time. When you're not only just seeing things, you're smelling things, you're hearing things. You're smelling that delicious cafe I can't wait to go to.
Kinopio Cafe, which where they do not serve toads, for the record. Kinopio is Toad's name in Japan, by the way. So, I guess. There's so many things I want to talk about. I guess we can hop over to that real quick since we're on the topic.
Yeah.
That cafe looks so cool.
It looks so good.
The food looks amazing. Joey was practically salivating during our live stream. And I love like the theming of it. I love that it's like, yeah, there's this like army of toads serving you up. Like when you enter, you see like a toad chef greets you on, I'm gonna say a screen, but like the idea is you're looking into a window into the kitchen, I think. And then later on, you can actually see a whole bunch of toads like working on your food before they serve it to you. And that's like such a cute touch, like.
It's really charming. It really is. And that's not even something you normally see in Mario. Like they made this up for this, and that works really nice. Sure, you get implications of things like this, I'm gonna be honest, mostly in Mario Party of all things, with like some of the food-based minigames, but this really takes it the extra mile, and it really feels like a lived-in area. And I know so much of this depends on like AR technology and the screens and hiding the screens in windows and things like that, but it's so entertaining to see. I just can't help but smile the whole time.
I wonder if the toads, I'm inclined to say no, but I do wonder if the toads will like interact with you personally. Like when you enter, do they greet you, Like you are wearing the power-up band, it's possible they know who you are, but it might just be like a generic greeting too, But that is things they could do throughout this land. They could possibly interact with you in a way that other lands don't, because you may have this power-up band on you, and we've already seen you can interact with various things in the land at the least. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and let's talk about that food real quick. Let's let's get right into it. I have the video open up right here. First thing they show off is the Mario Burger, which I didn't notice this on stream, but I think this might just be for the photo, but it's supposed to look like Mario. Like it's got the nose, for the mushroom nose, it's got the mustache, it's got
Mario hat.
Of course, the hat, yeah. Is it edible? No, it's not edible.
And the mustache you're saying is a strip of bacon, right?
Yes. Did I say that? Yeah. And the sesame seeds, I just noticed this now, too. I know, Triss, you mentioned it, but I guess those are sesame seeds, but they're supposed to look like the Mario mushrooms shaped in that sort of way. Man, welcome to Game of Slam, where we analyze burgers. But yeah.
Crossed over.
Yeah, but that looks like the first thing I'd probably try there. And I just love the food at Universal Studios. Like, sometimes it's cheaply made and not as good, but other times it's like in Harry Potter World's 3 Broomsticks, where they have the delicious food there. That's really good. And I didn't know that this mushroom thing was a pizza.
Yeah, it says the Super Mushroom Pizza Bowl when they show it, and I think it's more like a folded in. Honestly, like the mushroom, like the lower part of the mushroom that has the eyes is very clearly like the bowl that it's in, and the top is like the underside crust of the pizza.
Oh, that looks so good. I mean, I wish we could see the inside. I wanted to stick my face into that thing.
Oh man! But speaking of things you don't want to stick your face in, this salad, by far my least favorite thing on this menu.
What do you have against a salad?
It's salad, Andre. I don't.
Salads are great. They're amazing.
Okay. You're probably right, but I don't know. This is probably something the wife would probably eat. I don't know, because she likes salad more than I do.
I do like that the dessert is served within. Well, assumed to be a dessert. It looks like a cupcake type thing, or like a cake. Yeah, is within like a question block. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and the question block looks like each side of it is like a cookie.
Yep.
Like it looks like it's a bunch of cookies stacked around this whipped cream pastry looking thing. It's so charming. I love it.
Well, speaking of charming, like even the theme of the restaurant, like how the tables look like mushrooms, you know, and it has like kind of like a rustic feel, like a rustic Mushroom Kingdom feel to it, and it just it's just kind of neat. It's like, yeah, I could see this being in a Mario game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like how big the place looks, because a lot of the places at Universal, they don't really have large seating areas to eat. They have outdoor areas mostly. I think other than like the Three Broomsticks is a pretty big place to eat, and Krusty Burger mixed with what was that taco place called? I forgot. It's kind of big, but also a little crowded. This looks massive. This is absolutely massive, and there's gonna be a crowd of people here regardless, and we're probably gonna have to sit outside and eat our food when this place opens up. But yeah, I really want to sit on those chairs and eat some of that mushroom Mario burger.
I think the good side of that, or bad depending on how you look at it, is the portions look small, so people probably wouldn't be there longer than 15 minutes or so each.
Probably.
Like I can't imagine they'll let you order everything on the menu and sit there and eat everything. Like it's not gonna work like a full-on restaurant kind of thing. It's still
it's meant to be like a quick eat place. Yeah.
Exactly.
It is. You're gonna go up in line and order your food there, and you're gonna have to pick it up. It's typical Universal fashion, of course.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they have a fully sit-down restaurant like where you're waited on. As amazing as that might be.
I wonder if they're gonna have any specialty drinks, like because Harry Potter World has butterbeer. Maybe we'll have Tanuki juice. I don't know.
Oh dear.
That's just
I don't know what's in that, but you know what? Yeah, let's not even go there.
The only thing I could think of would be like Super Paper Mario has the shroom shakes.
Oh yeah.
That as the main items, like you can have things like that.
I mean, like Star Wars, like even a Star Wars land, like Star Wars isn't known for having, like you don't even see a lot of food in the Star Wars movies, and they came up with stuff for it. So even though we may not see a lot of drinks in Mario, I'm sure they'll have something. I think we've already seen cup holders before for drinks. So
well, right now I'm looking at the viewers see this on video right now. I'm looking at they have more items on the menu, like pictures. There's a spot at 10 minutes 51 seconds into the video, and they have other stuff that looks like they have a little kitty burger too with some chicken wings, I think. I don't know. Okay. But there is a drink on the bottom right that just looks like lemonade, I guess.
Probably.
Oh, there's a pasta bowl. Is that a pasta bowl? Of course.
It does look like a pasta bowl with Yoshi egg in it.
Yes.
That should be considered just a drink. You just drink your pasta.
And then on the bottom left, and I don't mean to turn this to a live analysis. I just want to
let's try to avoid that. But
this is the last thing I'll say on here. The one on the bottom left has a little flagpole, and it looks like a burger with something like the meat of a burger with something over it. And
yeah, that's interesting.
It just looks like they all look so charming, and this reminds me a lot of what we see from like the Kirby Cafe, for example, with like you'll see like the pop-up cafes around Japan.
Yeah,
it's like the really heavily themed food, which sure may be expensive, but like is the charming theme of it is really what you're there for.
You are kind of touching on a broader point that maybe if I were to nitpick, I would have maybe a small issue with, because like gut reaction to this food, hey, that looks awesome, but if you break it down a little bit, it doesn't fully fit thematically. Because like I wouldn't expect people in the Mushroom Kingdom to be eating Mario burgers, right? Or drinking from
maybe a Mario Day.
Yeah, maybe
his celebration.
But like at Star Wars Land or Galaxy's Edge, you're not eating like the Luke Skywalker like Subway burger or sandwich rather. So it's just a super minor thing, but it would have been kind of cool if they found a way to lean even more into Mario. Like here's what people in the Mushroom Kingdom would eat, right? Anyways. What I really like about this land in general is it seems to be like it's like full of nooks and crannies to explore. Like, Mario games are largely, or have increasingly, I say increasingly, like it's been a major focus now of the last 20 years, but like exploration is a big focus, and it seems like they're retaining that in the land, where there's these little activities you can find. We saw one here where you can use a power-up band to interact with the turtle shell to try and time it to go through a warp pipe in the right way to hit a PAL block above, or a question block or whatever. And that's cool. And then we saw one part where Miyamoto goes underground. it doesn't seem like there's anything you do down there. Like, it's not a line. You can just go underground, go explore, like hang out with some bombs if you want. And there's one part, yeah, and then it basically is, and like, yeah, it's kind of like a McDonald's play place almost, just with a budget. and there's even a part where Miyamoto shrinks, like everything's getting bigger, and it looks like he got shrunk by a mini mushroom or micro mushroom, whatever they are. And that's such a cool idea. I love that. Like, the attention to detail here is like exactly what I wanted from a Nintendo world.
It's really cool to see how creative they've gotten, and not just we didn't even see the rides yet, and it's already really creative in just the design of the park itself. What only like kind of makes me just a little disappointed is that it's called Super Nintendo World, but it's entirely Mario themed. Maybe they'll have items in the gift shops where they'll give us like Zelda themed merch, and I'm giving up hope on Metroid merch, of course. but I know they're also expanding with the Donkey Kong World, like you mentioned to me off camera, Andre. So that's going to be really cool to see in a few years. But yeah, either way, I know these nitpicks I have are going to go away when I enter the park and I finally eat that mushroom burger. I'm really hungry.
That's all you can. Yeah, you're very focused on this mushroom burger. Like, I don't even need the rides. I just want the burger. I'm good. You fly to Japan just for the burger. I'm good. Got it.
Exactly.
So here's a quick question. Do you think they showed enough? Because I saw the reactions in the chat were interesting. A lot of people are super excited. They're loving what they're seeing, like myself. I saw some others be like, that's it? That was like a boring live stream. Like, they didn't show us really, not a whole lot that we didn't already know. At least in a general sense. So what do you think? Did they show enough? Did they show too much? Or should they show more? What's your gut reaction?
I'm torn, because on one hand, obviously I would have loved to see more, but on the other hand, they're very clearly trying to save the experience of people to actually go and visit. I think if they talked a little bit more about what rides there are, that would have been neat, like to give us more of an idea of like what you can find there. And I think it also would have been neat if they detailed the mobile app a little bit more. Because they showed it, I still don't really feel like we know much about it.
Yeah, they didn't show off a whole lot.
Yeah, I want to know, like, if do we get any rewards for getting a certain amount of coins or getting a certain amount of other gifts and accessories? Like, what are the... I wanted to know more about that. But I'm a bit torn, but I'm more on the optimistic side of them not showing that much, because it is going to be... We were talking about this on the stream, Andre. Like, even you said you didn't want the whole thing to be spoiled for you, because part of the magic is discovering all that stuff for the first time.
No, granted, I do also think that there wasn't really a way for them to show us the Mario Kart ride, because that depends on AR, and what are you gonna do? Toss an AR AR headset on the camera?
Well, I mean, it would be a little bit difficult to convey, but the ride itself is primarily physical. Like, you are driving through real sets. The AR just adds like power-ups, I believe, and other things on top of it. And they're gonna find a way to show it off in marketing, obviously. So
that's true.
I think, if the options were show the whole ride and show nothing, I'm glad they went the nothing route. I will say, for as much as I love the stream, and I'm glad they didn't spoil anything, I'm glad, if anything, they were overly cautious. I kind of wanted like a little teaser of the ride. They showed like the vehicles and the ride vehicles, but they showed maybe like just a second of like something from the ride. They should
have shown Miyamoto getting like coming back in and getting out of the ride before leaving, for example. Like even just that would have been nice, I think.
And they didn't even talk about the Yoshi ride. There's also you saw it in the background a little bit. That's what they were like these Yoshi vehicle looking things. I mean, they are Yoshis. They're supposed to be Yoshis. They look like oddly shaped Yoshis. And it's like just a flat ride, a fairly simple thing, but they didn't even mention it, which is surprising. They talked about the mountain, I think Beanpole Mountain, I believe, which is from 3D World, which is partially where the ride takes place in. Otherwise, they didn't even mention it. So, and as Miyamoto himself said, like, there's a lot more that we haven't covered here. And I do appreciate that. Like, I do like that they didn't reveal everything here. Especially because I think there's so much, I think it'll make a bigger impact seeing it in person for the first time rather than, on a computer monitor.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen enough and I just want to be there now.
That's fair.
It sucks that it's opening at the worst possible time.
Yes.
I am glad, though, that this gave us kind of two surprises of things we didn't really know much of before. I know there was that kind of press event a little while ago in Japan where they showed off some things, like, people knew a little bit about the food then, but I'm glad we got a good look at the Canopio Cafe. And also, the power-up bands, as you mentioned, the different things you can do around. I'm glad they actually, like, showed us an idea of what those can do. And also, they work like amiibo, so you get to keep them, and then they're another amiibo that you have. But does that mean you can bring an amiibo and scan it? And
they said
use it the
amiibo
same
work
way,
too.
or?
Yeah, they said amiibo works.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the exact same way or they have some specific effect.
Man, I can't believe we're gonna get collectors walking into this park with backpacks of like all their amiibo.
I find it hilarious that amiibo are basically all but dead now, but because they started playing this park, like 6 years ago, that they're a factor still. Yeah. Anyways, I think the thing that impressed me the most though was just seeing the land, like as I kind of touched on, I think during the stream, maybe even early here, from like the perspective of what it's like to actually be there, and how like just it's delivering a feeling that I wanted as a kid. Like, if I were 5 years old, even 10, 15, even now, like my mind would be blowing. Like, it would blow my mind. Like, being able to, like, be physically present in Mario's world. Like, I am a little bit jealous of kids who are being able to go here, when you're even younger and even more impressionable, where it'll be even more convincing that you're actually there. And they did such a great job, with all the animatronics in the outside environment, moving around and having this great sense of kinetic energy. Like, it's going to feel alive. And that's something that even the best theme park lands don't fully deliver, because they're largely static. And this one's like, nope, everything's moving.
There's a lot of movement here, and I remember that surprised a lot of us for so long as they've been revealing and showing things. But it's really nice to see, and it just puts so much life into this land. And they hide the machinery behind it all really well too. You don't really notice any of it.
No, that's a great thing about it. Like, as far as we could tell, I mean, we haven't seen every perspective, but it really seems like the idea of this whole land is you're in Mario's world and that's it. Like, you can't see the outside world at all. We even saw, like, they even have Mario-style mountains, like, blocking what could be the views of other things in the park. So the idea is, like, you're taking that warp pipe, you're living in the real world, you're going to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Also, as one point I do want to bring up before I forget, I absolutely want the various enemy hats that they showed in the gift shop. I want the Boo hat, I want the Blooper hat, I want a Chain Chomp on my head. Nice. Give me them all.
The first thing I wanted was the Blooper hat. I don't know why. I don't even like Blooper.
Just gotta have the hat. The hat and the Mushroom Burger, then you're set.
Yes, exactly.
Any other thoughts, everyone, on the park in general, or anything specific we haven't brought up yet?
I am curious if they'll show us anything, if they'll do any sort of, like, special thing when it actually opens. Like, if we'll get another look at it or anything, or...
That's a good point.
In terms of officially.
There usually, most theme parks have an opening ceremony of some kind. And it could be different because of COVID, but I suspect they'll still have something put together. It may not be live streamed, but there will be likely press there covering it, I imagine.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so there probably will be something, but it may not be anything especially fancy. But at the least, there will be ads, I'm sure, soon, which probably will show off some more of the rides, including Mario Kart. So we may want to be careful of those if we want to avoid spoilers. So
that's true.
What's your hype at? 1 to 10. If you had to give a number, Joey.
10. 9. I want to go now.
9.
Yeah.
Tris, you're 10.
Yeah, 10. Now I want to go now.
Nice. I'm probably 9.5. I want to go here. I want to go live here. I'm going to become homeless just so I can live in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Worth.
Yep. Gonna live in one of the mountains.
Yeah, exactly. Tons of room in there. It's a big mountain, so I can just hide, sleep in the warp pipe or something. I don't care. Alright, everyone. I think it's going to wrap it up for our Super Nintendo World discussion. If you liked what you saw, consider taking a look at our live reaction too, so you can see exactly what we saw or what we thought in the moment. Otherwise, I think we covered it pretty well here. Of course, stay tuned to Game Explained for tons more on Super Nintendo World as we approach its release date, being February 4th of this year, which is pretty soon. And of course,
this coming year.
Sorry, this coming year. I'm just done with 2020. I'm already in 2021.
Yeah.
And everything else Nintendo as well, which we're known to cover here. So thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye, everyone.